So the examples this week that Eusebio will go through will be a choppy trade, a losing trade, and a winning trade, just so you know, and it will take about an hour or two to get through these. And I think that's about it. So, okay, so let's go through the NewsWatch right now. If you have any questions or if you don't understand something that we say, please ask. It's no good just sitting back there. The scrolling parties are put on for your benefit. Yeah, we're kind of driven by you. We are your leaders. We follow you. So here's the NewsWatch page. So at the very first top of the NewsWatch page, if you haven't watched it yet, haven't looked at it, we've got long-term things that you need to be aware of. So situations that you need to monitor so that you've got some idea on what's coming up in the marketplace. So these are global context kind of things. The one that's ticking over sort of furiously-ish at the moment is China and Hong Kong, and possibly Taiwan as well. There's I saw an article the other day that Taiwan is bringing up, has now produced a new, what do they call them, PC chip, a new CPU, or a new manufacturing facility, and it's in Taiwan, which will take it away from China, all their power. So US and China are having argy-bargy. US is looking for, Intel is looking for a new manufacturer. Taiwan is it now, and if China wants to keep its head in the game, then Taiwan is looking like a very nice place to be able to control, so that they can control the CPU side of things. So there might be something coming out of that. But that's me speculating. We've got the election coming up in the US, which will cause all sorts of crap. And long-term, very long-term, there's this stuff down here. China and India seem to have quietened down along their border. But be aware of this kind of stuff going on all the time. We'll update it. It's been a few weeks since we changed anything, so it does take a while. The NewsWatch list down here is what we're going to be working on now, so that you've got ideas on what trades, what times to avoid through the week. And then at the bottom of this is the top 10 list, which we'll go through. So I'll flip over to our spreadsheet work now. So Eusebio, over to you.
Okay, so on Sunday, I will monitor the yen monetary policy meeting minutes.
Missed those, okay.
Yeah, monitor, and then any policy meeting minute must be monitored. So, and then the yen trade balance, it's a major higher time frames. Okay,
and monitor means just be aware of what goes on. It's not that you should stop trading. Just if you can get hold of the documents, see what they say. It could impact on how the yen works out in the future.
Yeah,
okay.
and the impact may be an increase of volatility, but not necessarily big movements or big reversal, simply an increase in volatility. Because in fact, with such kind of event, the decisions have already been taken previously. But we may have sometimes some small details which may be added, so this is why we have to simply pay just a bit attention.
Okay, and when we say big movements, it just means on the pair. So there was news coming out on the Aussie here, and this is the Aussie US dollar. I know you can't probably read that, but when the news came out, it made it jump 50 pips. So if you're trading this and you're long, that's really good. If you're short, that's really bad. So that's why we recommend that you get out. Otherwise, you don't know which way the news is going to come out, and it can hit your account. We want you to protect your account. Other related pairs could be impacted, like the Kiwi. We're kind of Aussie-Kiwi cousins, and that also made it drop 50 pips. Here's the New Zealand US dollar. It's got nothing to do with the Aussie, but it still jumped 20 pips when the news came out. This is the Aussie yen that went up about 50 pips as well. This one is completely unrelated, the Swiss yen. So the yen and the Swiss don't have all that much to do with the Aussie, and it just sailed straight through that particular news. So when news is coming out on the smaller pairs, it doesn't necessarily impact many of the other pairs unless they're closely related. If there's something like this, the US dollar, when the non-farm payroll used to come out, doesn't make it jump so much anymore. But when it came out, the euro-US dollar made a 100 pip jump. The pound dollar made 170 pips. And this one, pound yen, doesn't have anything to do with the US theoretically, but it still made it jump 100 pips. Used to use the non-farm payroll coming out as like a blip on the chart so that I could know that I had my clock times right. So we've got, sorry, a bit different this time, Eusebio. We've got three pairs, and I don't have them up here, doesn't matter. The three big ones, like the euro, the dollar, and the yen, can cause all the pairs to blip like that. So if there's major news coming out on them, like up here on the trade balance, then get out of any pair that you're in within 30 minutes of the news coming out, and don't place any orders 30 minutes prior if you're trading the 5 minute and if it's major. If you're trading the H4, same thing applies if there's an H4 marking next to it. Okay, on the smaller pairs, you don't need to worry about them so much unless it's the euro, the yen, or the dollar. If you're trading some other pair, like for instance, we'll come to it. The Aussie has got a major news item coming up here. But if the news comes out there and you're trading the euro dollar, there's not much of a relationship between those. So you can keep trading the euro dollar, but just be aware that the Aussie news is coming out, but it probably won't impact it. But if you're in the Kiwi, it could, so get out. Anyway, okay, I think I've done that, so I don't need to say it later. Eusebio, back to you.
Okay, let's continue. So then we will have the yen trade balance, so major higher time frames.
Done, yep.
Okay, then that's it for Sunday. On Monday, we have the euro current account, major higher time frame.
Yep.
I will monitor the euro German Bundesbank monthly report.
Yep.
Then let's see the two speech by Haldane and Tenrero. Due to testify on his reappointment before the Treasury Committee in London. Yeah, interesting to monitor, possibly. And Tenrero, similarly. Then we have, I will monitor also the yen national core CPI year over year.
Hey, Kent. Not at all.
And monitor the Aussie monetary policy meeting minutes.
Okay.
And then we have Low speaking.
Yeah, it's another quiet news week this week. Not much in the way of news.
It will be a quiet week. Yeah, it should be a quiet week. So due to deliver a speech titled COVID-19, the labor market and public sector balance sheet. No, let's forget.
Okay, I'll scroll
then
down a little.
On Tuesday, we have the Swiss trade balance, major higher time frames.
Yep.
Then we have the CAD core retail sales month over month, major,
yep,
as well as the retail sales month over month. Then we have the Kiwi GDT price index, major higher time frames.
I was thinking this is like how much we're getting in our pay packet. That's why it's so important.
Yeah.
It's the price of our milk and our milk and butter from overseas. So yep.
And that's it for Tuesday. On Wednesday.
Scrolling.
Yeah. On Wednesday we will have the Euro German 30-year bond auction to monitor.
Yep.
Then we have the CAD CPI month over month, so major higher time frames.
Mm-hmm.
And the CAD core CPI month over month, major higher time frames.
Yep.
We can forget the median CPI year over year and trim CPI year over year. They are not important at all. And then monitor the US dollar crude oil inventories.
Yep.
Note that it is a bank holiday in Japan, So the ASEAN session will be very calm. And that's it for Wednesday.
Okay, scrolling.
I have forgotten to mention that on the 21st it will be a bank holiday in Belgium, but I suspect that this will have no impact in the Forex.
I can add it in, Eusebio.
No, not necessary.
I can do a big font as well if you want.
So on Thursday, we have the Euro-German GfK consumer climate I will monitor. Then we have Haskell speaking.
Okay. Where is he? Got him.
At 7 a.m. Due to speak about the economic impact on COVID-19 at the Imperial College Business School webinar. No, let's forget. Not. I will still monitor the US dollar unemployment claims.
Yep.
And then monitor the US dollar natural gas storage.
Yep.
The Kiwi trade balance major higher time frames.
Yep.
I will monitor the pound GfK consumer confidence.
Okay.
I note it is still a bank holiday in Japan. And then on Friday, if you want to scroll down a bit,
sorry,
the Excel.
you have to read it.
But the Forex Factory.
I thought you were better than that.
I will monitor the Euro-German flash manufacturing PMI.
Okay.
Then we will have, let's see, nothing else. Sorry. I will monitor the US dollar flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI. And that's it for Friday and for the week. So we don't have a lot of important news this week, so it should be most probably a very, very quiet week. What does this mean? I do not expect a big movement, but if there are big movement, pay attention. These movements will be weak movement with a low level of activity, so they can reverse very, very quickly.
Okay, and the next part of the NewsWatch, what I'll do is I'll put that up on the website along with the top 10 pairs. And that's what we're going to work on now. So if you need to know how to work out the top 10 pairs for you, I did it in a previous scrolling party. I think you all have access to that video. If you want me to run through it quickly, I can do that. But so just yell out. It's pretty simple once you know how. And the top 10 that we've got so far are based on their dollar ranges, are these ones here. And the ranges are getting smaller again. See, during the crash, they were up to around about $3,000 at the peak of a dollar range per day. Now we're getting down to a third that, 1,000. So this is why being really careful with your trading is so important. And also, incidentally, why ETF came along, because these pairs used to move much more than this back in the global financial crash days, and stayed that way for quite some time until about 2015, 2016, and then things started to shrink down. And I was hoping they'd come back up this year, but yay, COVID. Eusebio, so we've got our top 10 list here.
Top 10, yeah. That's
and
good.
And then we had added on some extra movers that you might like to trade if you found these too volatile. But they're kind of quietened down quite a bit these days. So is it worthwhile having some more smooth movers added to the list, Eusebio?
Yeah, you can take from the Euro Aussie up to the, let's say, Kiwi US dollar. Kiwi US dollar and ZD USD.
Oh, all the way down here.
Yeah.
Even though it's $563.
Yeah, because they may have rather regular movement, and so even a movement of 30, 40 pips can still be very nicely tradable.
Okay, so these are the main ones that you'll be making your money from. I'll just get rid of that because it's a double up. And these ones here, if you're not too sure about the speed or the sharpness of the movements, then these can be easier to trade, less stress, but less money. That's what we're getting at with that. Hey Edmund, hey Mo. So what Eusebio is going to do now is go through the top 10 list Excuse me. I get a bit emotional at times with the news. We go through the top 10 list and match them up with the news that is coming out on that particular day. And the way we do this is we run from New York open, New York close to New York close. So it closes around 5 p.m. So anything that after 5 p.m. on that particular day is not looked at. So, and we're only looking for majors. So on Sunday, we've got one major, which is the yen.
The yen, so we have the yen here and here, okay.
And we've got the euro dollar.
The euro, so here, 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 and here.
And that's it.
And that's it, okay. So the first pair to consider will be the euro-yen.
This is really weird. My Excel spreadsheet's dying on me. I don't know what's going on. See, I've got nothing at the... Okay. Gonna have to be really careful. Right. Okay. Sorry. What is it, Eusebio?
The euro-yen.
Okay.
And we can add the euro-yen or the pound-yen.
Okay.
Euro-yen or pound-yen. Then the next choice will be the euro-kiwi or euro-aussie.
Do I have one of those?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then something which is not usual, we can take the euro-aussie or the euro-pound. Sorry, euro-US dollar or euro-pound. Euro-US dollar or euro-pound. And we cover the 3 sessions, yes.
Okay, so leftovers from Monday after 5 p.m. There is nothing. There's no majors. And on Tuesday we've got the Swiss.
The Swiss, okay.
The CAD.
The CAD, okay.
And the Kiwi.
And the Kiwi, okay.
And so, including the Kiwi because it can occur US afternoon or US evening. So we're not too sure about that one. Yep.
Yeah. So the third choice will be the pound Swiss or pound CAD. Pound Swiss or pound CAD. Very unusual.
Yeah. Come on. Okay, don't.
Then the pound Kiwi or pound Aussie.
Got him.
And then the euro Kiwi or euro Aussie.
Okay. And so leftovers from Tuesday are the Kiwi.
The Kiwi, that's normal, so Kiwi here and here, yeah.
And the CAD.
And the CAD. Only the CAD?
Only the CAD, yep. Nothing
Okay.
in euro.
So the first choice will be the pound CAD. Then the pound Kiwi or pound Aussie.
Yep.
And then the euro Kiwi or euro Aussie.
Cool. Right, so leftovers from Wednesday, nothing.
Nothing, okay.
And on Thursday, there's nothing.
Nothing. So the choice will be easy. The first choice will be the pound US dollar or pound yen. Yeah. It is what it is.
Yep, that's all right.
Pound US dollar or pound yen. Pound yen.
Yep, it's getting there.
Yeah, okay. Then the next choice will be the pound Swiss or pound CAD.
Yep.
And then the pound Kiwi or pound Aussie.
Okay, and leftovers from Thursday are...
Nothing.
Thank you. And nothing on Friday.
No. We have the Kiwi, Chris. We have the Kiwi.
Do we? Oh, okay, sure. Yep. Sorry.
And on Friday, we have nothing. So the first choice will be the pound Kiwi or pound Aussie. Then the euro Kiwi or euro Aussie. And then the pound US dollar or pound yen.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So how these work, if you haven't used it before, is we've given you a list of the top 10, which can be a lot of work to try and monitor all these. And the thing to do is just to pick one or two pairs to actually monitor. So instead of jumping around, the other ones may be moving, but just stick with what you've got. If you start jumping around, then you're likely to fall off your horse midstream and drown and miss out on pieces. So fear of missing out is a big issue with trading sometimes. So just stick with what you've got. That's what makes you consistent. Eventually you'll find something which will move properly for you. Okay, and to slim down this number of pairs, we've limited them to like instead of 10 now to six per day. We've got the top ones here are the ones that you sort of go for first. There's no particular order here. It's just these are the most likely to be the best ones. And if none of these are moving really well for you, then have a look at these ones. And if none of those are moving, then try out something else from the top 10 or from the smooth movers down the bottom here. So you've got plenty of choice, but we've tried to sort of narrow it down so that you've got the best picks out of the lot. Okay, if there's no questions, just to reiterate, if there's anything marked with major here and you're trading the 5 minute, don't place any orders 1 hour before the news and get out of the orders half an hour before. If they're marked with H4, then the same thing applies to you higher time frame traders. And if there's news coming up on the euro, the yen, or the US dollar, then consider that it applies to every pair. If it's the smaller pairs, like the Aussie, the Swiss, the CAD, the Kiwi, then you could consider that those don't trade at these times ideas just apply to those pairs or their own cousins like the Aussie and the Kiwi. And the pound kind of straddles them. So it's kind of regarded as a smaller pair at the moment. But just be careful of it because Brexit is still around. And last year when news came out on the pound, well, it was impacting more the pound pairs than anything else. So and it wasn't sort of leaching through into the other pairs, all the volatility. So it could be okay, but just be really careful about trading that. If you're not sure, stay out. Okay, sorry, I can't be more precise than that. And I think that's it. And let me see if I can pick this up and save it. Okay, before I go anywhere, in case I do lose this, I just want to scroll down here a bit. So that I've got at least it recorded on the video. So if I have to rebuild this spreadsheet. Okay. Come back up here. Do those ones. Okay, it's recorded on the spreadsheet, on the video. And is there anything else, Eusebio? I feel like I'm missing something.
No, I don't see special thing. Except just for the long-term bias in the Google Sheet, there will be no change in the pairs.
Ah, okay. Eusebio is talking about. Well, okay, I'll show you the long-term bias for this week. Don't look at my password. Okay. Okay, so this is Eusebio's pair bias spreadsheet. And over here, when I can find the slider, down the, okay, let's make it a bit smaller. You can come back here and just pause the video at this point. We don't give this out. It's subscription service. Every day Eusebio comes here and remanufactures it, but he's got the long-term bias down here for the particular pairs. Not that helpful if you're trading, excuse me, the 5-minute chart, because say for the Aussie might be going long, but on a 5-minute you might get some really good trades going short. But if you're trading something like the H4 charts, then pay attention to these long-term biases. Okay, I'll just leave it at that, Eusebio. Nothing else?
Nothing else, no.
Okay.